Sorry, I hurt my back.
No need to apologize.
How's it going?
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday, brother.
Wow. Dude, how are
25?
31.
Nice.
Yeah. I have the distinct pleasure of being Jeremy, the Heart Trooper number 7, and bringing you a special guest, the first person to ever purchase the word wine on Google AdWords, the biggest Jets fan in the world, serial entrepreneur and artist, Gary Vaynerchuk. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
We could go 100 different places.
Yep.
Thank you as always.
Yep. Thank you for having me.
I'm going to start off really strong. There are hundreds of people in the community who are convinced that the competitive clown wears a bowler, partially at least because of me. Will you confirm or deny this?
So one thing that's very important to me, so like every part of my bone and soul wants to say yes because I love you and want you to have that, but it's not true. The reason I drew it is because that's how I've drawn the clown my whole life.
Love it.
It's such a classic part of the clown.
Yes.
And literally, as all of you know, I consume a lot, but I'm a human being.
Yeah.
And so I miss plenty, and I haven't seen that conversation. And I'm like a little bit sad because I'm so happy to be on your show and so happy to be with the community. And to start with like a Debbie Downer.
It's not that was my truth. I was telling people clowns have worn bowler hats for years, so don't get confused, but
yeah,
I had to ask.
It has a flower, right?
It does have a flower.
That's how I've always drawn it.
That's so cool.
It's been so fun to show my doodling. I was really into it as a kid. As a matter of fact, having all these wrestling figures, big shout out to Big Orange Robbie Turnick, who I grew up with in Edison, New Jersey. We used to draw a lot. And we wanted these rubber wrestling figures, but like, you know, we were in that lower middle class era in that time in our lives, and our moms were not buying us wrestling figures unless it was our birthday or Hanukkah or Christmas. And so we wanted more figures. So we used to draw on white paper. It's funny that you have white paper here. We used to draw wrestlers on white paper.
And cut them out.
But that's not enough. We would then take Elmer's glue and put them behind
like cardboard.
And then recut it out and make wrestling figures.
Fuck yeah.
And like
I love that.
It was like one of my fondest memories. As a matter of fact, I have a crazy story. Sort of going on a tangent.
Go on it.
One night, my parents and I went out to like my uncle's or something, and Robbie had drawn a bunch of characters, wrestlers.
Yes.
And, you know, no cell phones back then or whatever, and he wanted me to see them, so he left it on my front door in between the knob and the frame when we got home. Well, when we got home, my parents got to the door first, and they see a piece of paper. It's very unusual. They pull it, and I could see there was like, I was getting out of the car. This is like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, late for my parents used to make me go to sleep early, and I could see there was like a little bit like anxiety and like upsetness. I'll never forget this night. Fuck, I've never told this story. And and there was a confusion, and we got into the house and the lights went on, and punchline of the story is Robbie drew these wrestlers on the paper, wanted me to see it. But when he was drawing them, he X'd out some of them because they weren't good. And the one he most X'd out twice was Nikolai Volkov, who's who was the big Russian wrestler of the 80s. Well, because he did that, my parents thought it was anti-Russian, like some neighbor was like mad at us and tried to do some hate crime against us. And I was like, no, this is Robbie's drawings. That's Nikolai. It was like, I'll never forget that night for some reason. But yeah, we used to really draw a lot. And I used to draw a lot.
Well, look, as devastated as I am, I think it's good for people to remember, you know, like, I talked to a lot of different communities, and they're like, when did Gary Vee become an artist? And we've seen like your doodles on the windows, but you've been, and doodle is also used to like sort of like diminish,
what the better question is? When did you, as a human being, decide you wanted to judge someone trying something new? What if I had never drawn?
Yes.
Let's go a different route. What if I had never drawn in my life, and I decided to do this.
It's exactly where I go. I talk about children. I was like, what about a 5-year-old? Like, they're creating, like, art is an active thing, right? And you're participating not just in the character design, but in the entire story development.
I'm in the business of being compassionate, and so I'm incredibly empathetic to why people have those feelings.
Sure.
I would ask everybody who's listening to this, who's ever felt that about, I think a lot of people listening to this like me, so
Totally.
I'm going to go in a different direction. When you are actually judging negatively someone else, ask yourself why.
Yeah. All right, pivot. 1 month from today, it's April 19th, 1 month from today, VeeFriends around the world will be landing in Minneapolis, Minnesota for the first ever inaugural VCon.
Yeah, I hope they land on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, no, Thursday.
Thursday's okay.
We're good. Sorry.
Because it starts at, check-ins at 8 the next day. Reminder, everybody, 8 to 10 check-in, 10 to 5 programming, then cocktails and show. So you got time. Here's my question for you. We really don't know much about
There's
VCon.
a lot of Thursday stuff. There's a Thursday. Have I announced that there's a Thursday kickoff party yet?
I haven't seen it, and I see most things.
I know you do.
I haven't seen that. No,
we gotta get to
the
that.
community has like 3 events because we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. Well, it'll be great. I'm gonna announce that. There's some good stuff.
Well, we can't wait.
Here's some alpha for you. Good.
Thank you. There's a kickoff party on Thursday. But here's the thing. So like 150 plus speakers, all the heavy hitters in NFTs, a bunch of different industries. Like I'm excited for Deepak. I'm excited for Kevin Smith. I'm excited for Pharrell. I understand beyond that in Minneapolis, there's close to nothing we know, and you can't necessarily reveal that. But would you give us some of like would you remind us about the vision? Like, what is VCon and what does it mean to you that this is happening?
If I did no speakers, no activations, VCon would be a smash hit.
Bet.
VCon has a binary, everything else, the Deepaks, the Spike Lees, the Pharrells, the Kevin Roses, the Bettys, the Beeples, all of that, me included, maybe me most of all included, all of that is 7% of the vision. 93% of the vision is summer camp. That's why it's 3 years. I knew that Discord would build a community. I can't even imagine the excitement that people are feeling right now to meet each other in real life.
Yeah, family reunion vibes.
100%.
Big time.
Wait to the third day of actually hanging out for 3 straight days. Now you're fully in family mode. What the fuck do you think VCon 2023 looks like? Now you've got the Discord for a year. Now you've got VCon where you really went there. What people don't know about the Mount Ida crew, Eric, and Glenn, 2 of the guys that are, pop up in like some of the stuff, very limited content, but people know.
Yeah.
Both got kicked out of school in the first semester. I am friends with Ms., Eric, and Glenn. I went to school with them for 12 weeks. And I'm still talking, 1994, I'm still talking to them 28 years later. By the way, back to my point, it all happened the first weekend. All of it.
Right.
3 days. And I see a lot of vibes in this room. For everybody listening, everybody, easily, if they had a college experience, either they themselves or they know of, within the first weekend of people making friendship because of the serendipity of their quad or their group or their dorm room, and still to this day are friends. I think the relationship graph with each other, VeeFriends with VeeFriends, is going to be profound. I think people are going to find the love of their life.
Yes.
I'm fucking serious.
I
think people are going to find their business partner of the future.
Yeah.
I think people are going to find their friend that helps them, who becomes just a friend that is that friend for them. Because everybody has people they go to when they need help, and everybody is help to some people. I think people are going to find that. I think people are going to find creativity, trading partners. I believe 92% of the energy of VCon is going to be off the charts positive. I do think 8% of the energy will be financial, business. Like, you know, I'm empathetic. There's some people whose net worth is tied up into a single VeeFriend holding, and they're going to act differently. But we've got it better than most communities. I believe we're an actual community in a sea of non-communities, and I think it's going to be unbelievable. I also think people don't understand how close I am to a lot of the speakers. It's going to be cool.
I'm glad you brought it up because I know you've stated your goal is to meet every single person at VCon.
Yes.
So give us a little info about the kissing booth.
Yeah, so I don't know yet because I haven't gone through this yet. We've been we're kind of hoping next week starts the process of the sprinkles, the 3.5 base.
Yeah.
Now it's figured out, but they're gonna, you know, the Mahas, the Zach Nadlers, the Andys, the others.
Shout out to all them.
They're gonna show me what my time looks like. They know my ambition. My intuition is they're gonna have me over-programmed with like an hour here, and I'm like, no, that should be for the kissing booth. And obviously, let's clear this up. It's not a kissing booth.
Yeah.
The selfie booth. God damn it. The selfie booth is, well, I'll kiss you, dear.
Selfie handshakes, autographs.
The selfie booth. You know, I've got to create an actual selfie booth that what everybody wants to do when they meet me, which is the great joy of my life, is ask me a question.
Right,
because of the framework of how I roll. I need to separate those two things. I need to create some Q&A, but I have to, with a gut of 7, 8, or 85. I think the number's going to end up being 7,000 to 8,500 is my guess.
Yeah, attendance, yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, some people are like, oh, there's only 5,600 holders. I'm like, no.
They've got a bunch of guests.
There's a bunch of people who like have all 6 of them in their wallet, but are bringing 5 people. So my intuition is we're looking at 8,000.
Yep.
I've got to, with that kind of situation, I've got to create several hours of like, I'm so humble that people want a picture as a memento that I have to deliver on that. I'm uncomfortable, and D-Rock knows this better than anybody in the world, is like, I'm not good at saying no.
Yeah.
So like, I gotta really like set the tone with my opening keynote of like, I've got these hours for selfie booth. I'm gonna be around. I will do tons of Q&A. Please, for each other, because I won't get to everybody. Selfie booth is.
Be there. And, yeah.
So I'm excited about that. I am building a 50-year project.
Yes.
I've decided I'm gonna live a little longer. I'm like the 40. I'm like 87.
Yeah.
50. Building a 50-year project.
Push it to 55.
That's right. Even better. 50. I'll be 101. I'll be perfect. In a 55-year project, I'm taking that all the way. In a 55-year-old project, I'm doing a lot of things differently. Like, this is it now. This is the IP. This is the beginning. And the original drawings is the provenance. You know, a word that we used to talk about in NFT land.
Yeah.
And so it's very important to me. That's why I don't get excited when people are like, these doodles, 5th grade art. I'm like, that's cool. Like,
yeah.
Let's like, do you know what kind of joy I'm gonna have making a video in 31 years using all these people's public tweets shitting on me? It's gonna be the joy content of my life. Like, you know how fun that content's gonna be when everyone in the world knows what a VeeFriend is, and there's gonna be tweets of like, this is stupid, this is stupid, this is stupid. Everybody doubts you when you're doing big things. That's the cost of entry to doing big things. Most people don't have the appetite for the pushback. I prefer the pushback. I'm much, much, much more enjoy it than the praise. The praise makes me embarrassed. And the way I change the embarrassment is the praise. The way praise used to work on me was, I was like, it's kind of why I don't like my birthday.
You're resistant.
On your birthday. I don't want present. It's actually this will blow people's mind. This is actually a crazy insight. I don't like my birthday because I don't want people giving me things. And believe it or not, I do not like attention. Stick with me here. Let me finish the sentence. For things that I don't think I've earned.
That I get. That I get.
And so birthdays just feels like, you know.
It's like, what did I do? I woke up today.
Yeah, which is kind of how I look at everything. Like, my parents had sex. I've got talent.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that I'm really excited about it, V2, and I think, back to answering the question directly, even though evolving and competing may be the most common poses, they are no question the most important, and it won't even be close, and that will play out over the next 5.5 decades.
new characters.
Yes.
I love the new characters.
Yeah, me too.
When the Minakawa was released, I shifted. So thanks to your energy in the Discord,
Yes.
I went heavy on book games. I had 50 and
insane.
44 on the snapshot. I now have 60. I redirected 80% of it into Patient Lava because I just like love the Minakawa. Like I don't know where you pulled that from.
You want me to tell you?
Yes.
So my best friends in college were Dustin Bingham, aka LA, Rob Muse, aka Moose, Eric and Miz, the rappers, Glenn Curtis, and my best friend for, it ebbed and flowed. I was really best friends with LA, really Moose and Joe. I mean, these are all my actual best friends. Now we're talking in the margins.
Yeah.
But I had a very special, and still do, relationship with Joe, JYO. Half Japanese, half white, now works at VeeFriends, which is one of the great gifts of VeeFriends. His last name is Minakawa.
Oh. And so that led you to define the, like...
I was thinking about characters.
Wow.
And so somehow, I think I was...
You're the last one, too.
You just got like a whisper of the bird, like the legend bird?
I was looking at things, we're deep in the universe now, so I'm like kind of digging on, and I think I stumbled on like mythical characters.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened.
Yeah, that's the other reason I'm interested
That's why that one's very special to me. I actually, if I don't mint one, have to buy one too, because I have to give one to Joe. If they don't get minted, they become a go. Hopefully
That's
I get a
true.
go.
It's going to be interesting to see all that play out because...
I have a random question.
Please.
Sorry,
No, you'll go...
Run the podcast.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're a goose. You
Goes.
Goes.
For the
You're
goose.
going through and like, you gotta mint all those, right?
But you don't have to
I'm
burn.
going to do it direct from the contract.
Yeah,
Cool.
you don't have to
You
burn.
don't have to mint it.
No, thank God.
Whimsical Wolf's also in there.
But I don't
Some
get-
magical
but I get
energy.
revolving goes. They don't transfer to goes. I'm not going to transfer them to goes. I'm going to. Am I? Oh, I am. I
No, the new characters that's what we know so
That
far.
I know. I'm talking about mine.
Yeah,
They may be goes. I got to talk to the team. Go ahead. 'Cause they are originally open. It makes sense.
I'm curious, like, so you designed these when you first talked about them to be top tier, like Panda, Alien, Cat. Why?
the new characters?
The new characters. Like, why new characters? Is it just fun, or
just fun.
it's not filling gaps, or is it like?
The reason I just paused is it may be subconsciously filling gaps.
Sure.
Yeah, might be. I feel pretty confident that I'm going to be able to do something meaningful with every character, not individually. I could see 7 sea creatures, sea animals, sea livers, like fish.
Yes.
And other things that can be found in the sea. I can easily see that being a successful Barney-like, Paw Patrol-like, Peppa Pig-like animated series.
Love
And that
that.
will be like 9 of them.
Yes.
Whereas the very, very, very lucky black cat, I think of that as like my Nike, the swoosh, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
I'm not going to develop the black cat, at least at this point. By the way, for everyone listening, I reserve the right to change my mind, as I always do as a human being at any point. But like when I think about the black cat, I think more Kith, Off-White, Nike.
Yes.
When I think about, that's a very different thing than Bubble Guppies, on Nickelodeon.
Totally. I haven't even heard of that. You've given me a ton more time than I asked for, but a couple quick questions. I'll give you space to plead the fifth on this if you want, but some of us have a theory about the Series 1 versions of these new characters that if you hold a time machine Tiny Ogre, you'll be able to claim a 1-of-1 Series 1 version of the new 15 characters.
I can't answer that, but it's not exactly right.
Okay. That's good. That gives me space to keep wondering. The last thing I want to ask about Series 1 is just give you a moment to talk about Just
You got a
Start.
few minutes here, so like,
Yeah.
you're not going to get me again, so go ahead.
Except at tennis.
Fair enough. Go ahead.
I love the Just Start tokens. I really am hoping to pick up some in Series 2. Hopefully I'm in some. You've talked, I guess the question I want to ask you is why or how did book games become an extension of Just Art? Like,
creatively, I thought it would be fun and cool, and I really have ambitions for Just Art. And this is some real fucking alpha. I strategize and I hedge in my mind. Not hedge, actually, it's even better than that. It actually feels amazing. I wonder if there's ever a time where I just retire. I always think about dying at my desk because I just can't see how I wouldn't be an entrepreneur for every day of my life. But I'd be lying if I didn't say there's a part of me that's drawn to the hypothesis of being 89 years old, living somewhere less city-like, and just doing art. And if that ends up being true,
wow.
well, then Just Art got real interesting real fast. And by the way, again, please, because now I don't need somebody buying 15 fucking Just Art NFTs and hitting me up in 20 years being like, you fucking... But I'm trying... I want to be as transparent as I can without... I like giving people the rationale to things. I think it's cool. I think it's neat. I also hope it inspires people to live that kind of life and do things the same way. I'm excited about Just Art.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought it'd be cool to make the tokens that way, because obviously the book game tokens are incredibly important.
I know everybody wants me to ask 100 questions about what's next, but I'm not even going to because...
You got a few minutes you can ask. I mean, I won't tell you.
I'm honestly not that interested. Like, I think the whole game master, dungeon master playfulness, I love it. I understand when finances are involved, people get stressed, but that's an indication to people of where they're at with their portfolio. Yeah.
Like, I can't, on the record, I will never do anything based on what everybody wants from me.
Yeah.
It won't happen. Because then it's over. The second I succumb to people's need for financial bumps on paper within 30 seconds is the second VeeFriends is dead.
One more series, one question. So I have the Core Heart Trooper.
Yes.
When the floor was 2 or 3, there was a heart pick for 5-5. And I did everything I could, and I got it. So I have a core heart pick number 1. Is there? I know. Yeah, we're basically family. Can you give me some heart pick alpha? This is the only original concept that we know about.
It's the only character that is not known to the world. I made him up.
Yes.
D-Rock wants to be very involved in its future. He's earned that right. So there's some alpha.
Love it.
We may not get to that. Tomorrow we may decide something else.
Yeah.
It is incredibly important in the VeeFriends world. It's the most original thing I own.
Interesting.
It's the most original thing. I mean, I didn't invent the panda. I may want to change forever the concept of a black cat being lucky instead of unlucky.
Yeah.
But God created the black cat.
I think some people wonder if it's like a chimera, if it's like a pig plus a this plus a that.
By the way, you did, because you know this stuff better than I do. Didn't somebody actually break down
fractionalize it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's this.
It's Riz.
That was amazing. I saw that kind of come through somewhere.
Yeah, it's
the Harpic is just like, I was at a creative stage. Now the question becomes, long term in a 55-year window, is the Harpic the alpha to an entire universe that springs out? Is the alpha like a Chewbacca? Right?
Yeah, or like even like a Boba Fett, like it's got like a niche
Even
following.
better, right. That is what, if I was, again, I'm trying to do less of this because I think people are too economically tied into like me being creative and thinking
They'll
about
jump
it.
on your words, yeah.
Yeah, like I could forget about the Harpic tomorrow and never think about it again.
I
on
get
the
it.
record. Comma, do I think the Harpic could be the way I create a whole new solar system? I do. Because VeeFriends is actual real life.
Yeah, it was fun to see it in the
Whereas
spacey
the Harpic
background.
is a wink towards a world. Actually, I think Harpic might be a little bit inspired by Wuzzles.
Okay. Yeah, you've also said it's like the green alien from Flintstones, which I love.
Gazoo?
Gazoo, yeah.
I really just like the Harpic a lot.
Wow.
I think the Harpic... I'm excited about Series 2. I think we were talking off camera. about this. There's characters that never traded.
Yes.
The astronaut, or rarely traded. The parrot, the astronaut, the robot.
The meerkat.
The meerkat. The diamond hen.
Yeah.
That were like real like early favorites for top 10. Motivated Monster, Zealous Zombie. There's some characters out there that, because they never moved, and because I never really decided to talk about them yet, but just seeing what's going on with Rare Robot right now is a little bit of a preview of what really excites me. I think there's going to be some character recalibration in a week.
Yes.
The start of.
Yes.
In a week, it'll be the beginning of something that I think will manifest in the next 6 to 12 months, which is the recalibration of the collective's opinion of the top 25 characters, which I think is a fun game because they're all important.
And then again, as more and more content comes out and it starts to hit with different...
That's right.
We've got 60 seconds, so you said I'll never get you again on the podcast. This is episode 172.
Ah!
Can I call you at 5:55?
How often do you do them?
3 to 5 times a week.
You can definitely call me.
I asked the wrong question.
That's the right way.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
1, 2, 5.